In only a few short weeks, we will once again be blessed by many Spider-Man foes' faces. In this series of videos, I want to dive back into the Spider-Man movies that have become so iconic. Not only because I haven't seen these movies since my childhood, and there's a big red and blue flare shining in the near distance, but also because these movies are some of the funniest movies I've ever seen. No, seriously, these movies are straight up comedies. Yet at the same time, they feel much more grounded and real in comparison to the MCU movies we are flooded with today. Something about having a smaller world of seeing the people of New York makes these movies feel more like regular movies. The MCU is very much its own thing nowadays. They have a very clear formula and it works. But having a movie that doesn't throw in a quip at almost every opportunity is refreshing to watch nowadays, oddly enough. Instead, this movie just throws ridiculous shit in there that makes you laugh anyway. So why don't we just get into the classic movie that started it all. First off, can we please praise the absolute banger of a soundtrack this movie has? Christ, this Spider-Man team got me banging my head, throwing it back, and doing a backflip at the same goddamn time. This narration, on the other hand,
who am I? You sure you want to know?
Makes you bust out laughing every time. I will mention how old this cast looks quite regularly because that man right there should be nowhere near a school bus. Can we please get this man out of here? Also, Peter's classmates really are just cartoonishly evil. Hell, even the bus driver specifically dunks on Peter. Like, he's a cute boy with a very punchable face. I don't know, I don't buy people being so evil to some random kid. But hey, I don't live in the US of A's. I guess the A stands for assholes in this case. Right away, we get introduced to our villain of this movie, who honestly is the most likable of any of the characters in this movie. Like, seriously, they're all either creepy as hell, whiny, or just straight up boring. Our boy Norman, on the other hand, got that big daddy charisma. Any scene with him immediately makes it much more interesting, as he provides this great sense of memes.
You know, I'm something of a scientist.
I'm not kidding, this teacher looks 10 years younger than any of the students. Also, he has this menacing aura, like he just jumps into frame with this menacing tone. Now, the relationship between Peter and Harry in this is kind of confusing to me. We are told that they've been best friends forever and get along well, but the first real thing that Harry does is take Peter's cute little science fact about spiders to get into his childhood crush's pants. Does even his best friend have to be an absolute dipshit for us to get that his life is kind of miserable? Some would say yes. Like, Peter Parker has to have the worst life or else he's not relatable is an opinion I've heard people share quite often. But I personally feel like there should be a limit to his misery. I personally think, yeah, Peter Parker should have good friends. He deserves that, okay? Give the kid some fun. Anyway, when told that one of the genetically mutated spiders is missing, the scientist reacts with a and I don't know, but that shit's so funny to me. The movie has this pretty nice pacing where it jumps from Peter's life slowly improving while we see Norman's life go downhill.
Back to formula.
And them clashing against each other after jumping back and forth is a very fun way to structure the movie. When we get introduced to Grandfather Ben and great-great-great-grandmother May, seriously, they look ridiculous for aunt and uncle. Like, when I was a child, I never really questioned it at all. I know the comic books portrayed them in a similar fashion, but in adaptation, it is okay to make some changes in my opinion. Which this movie does in many cases. Like, the natural spider webbing might be fucking weird as hell, but it simplifies it to a then especially more casual audience. Raimi, coming from a horror movie background, is kind of dope as it provides some abstract scenes. But boy, if I don't think some of this stuff is goofy as hell. What in the Five Nights at Freddy's is going on here? So while Peter is busy getting packs, Norman is busy doing the same thing. He insists on being the first human test subject as he doesn't want his company to lose funding, and oh boy, it works! Uh-oh. The movie really goes hard on the Spider-Man powers being a metaphor for puberty.
Yeah. Big change.
Which, I don't know, it definitely makes things interesting.
Teenager. Raging hormones, they never change.
Bro, this guy is going to the bank to pay child support right now. What are you talking about? Anyway, so Peter is being weird, which I guess could be seen as cute and nerdy, but it just comes off a bit too strong for my taste. Like, it's past the charming point and crossed the line of obsession a long time ago.
Last night I was...
I love these so much, man. Any scene with Willem Dafoe in this movie is fucking hilarious. I live for his performance, man. In the cafeteria, we get this iconic scene, and I take it back. Peter is adorable. So when Peter accidentally throws shit at Flash, Flash straight up goes up for the killing blow. Like, literally, if he did not avoid that, you would have gotten a clean Mortal Kombat fatality cutscene right there. Peter discovering that he can do wild ass shit is actually so fun in this movie. Like, I just appreciate how much fun he has being Spider-Man. Because that's probably how most people would react. Well, that and many health concerns. Talking about CGI in a movie from 2002 might be considered a bit unfair, but come on, man. This is what I'm talking about. You can't tell me Sam Raimi wasn't intending for this shit to be funny, man. I said earlier that the movie feels more like a regular ass movie, and honestly, stuff like this slower scene of Peter walking home to his uncle showing that he cares, even though Pete's been an absolute dickhead with the contrast of MJ's family yelling at each other, solidifies this feeling for me. Like, you won't be seeing domestic abuse in any MCU movie.
He has a family and he can't reach them because you won't let him reach them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop lying to me!
I also think Peter getting into his first fight as Spider-Man because he tries to buy a car so he too can impress MJ is a really cute and honestly really believable idea to me. Now, this guy hasn't had the great power speech yet. And he's 18. The only responsibility this guy is feeling is the responsibility to get his fucking dick wet. But then there's also goofy ass montages like this. A fucking JPEG of a car driving towards the camera. Why? I'm telling you, this is a goddamn comedy. People tell me I'm insane. I'm speaking the truth. Also, Peter, can we not just see you stalking your neighbor in this montage? Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks.
Up next is this iconic "with great power" scene, which honestly is a beautiful scene all around. The fact that Peter's last words to his uncles are that he is not his father and thus shouldn't act like he is quite powerful and actually hits pretty hard. I love this guy. I can't help but laugh at anything he says. Seriously, listen to this shit. Absolute masterpiece of screenwriting. Look, if I showed every hilarious scene in this movie, this video would be like 6 hours long.
God, I can't feel my leg.
I genuinely laughed out loud more times watching this movie than I did watching any other comedy movie in recent memory. And again, I'm not sure if it is intentional or not, but I'm eating this shit up, bro. Like, I know some people take these movies super serious. They say these movies are like way darker than the new ones, and it hits you so hard in the fucking gut. Yeah, there's some serious moments, of course there is, but what the fuck, dude?
That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you?
If his husband did give that outfit to him, he absolutely knows what he's doing. I love how no one reacts to this dude just shooting webs out of his hands. Like, Peter clearly didn't give too much of a shit about his identity being hidden at this point. But how is not one person going, that's a bit weird, bro. Anyway, he kills Bonesaw and goes on to let his uncle die.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Uncle Ben dies, yada yada yada, but more importantly, he transforms it to a fucking cartoon. Pretty daring to switch mediums mid-movie, not gonna lie. We are then introduced to this word's Iron Man. Oh. Now with Uncle Ben dead, we get to see a montage of Spider-Man catching low-tier criminals and shots of New Yorkers saying some random ass shit, which I absolutely love. I want my superheroes to actually beat the fuck out of low-level criminals too. Like, I don't exclusively want to watch them fight in a mirror match. It's fun to see them save the neighborhood, and I wish more movies would do this sort of stuff again. Oh, we also get this shit.
And I know Spider-Man was here.
The guy protects us, you know? He protects the people.
I don't even know at this point, man. We are then introduced to the other best character of this movie.
A vigilante.
J.K. Simmons was born to play this character, man. You can tell he loves his role and is having a lot of fun with it. Honestly, hope he becomes a staple in the MCU in more than just the Spidey movies from now on. I can listen to this guy talking shit about heroes all day.
Barely get a glimpse of him.
Oh, what is he, shy? Get a picture of Julia Roberts in a thong, we can certainly get a picture of this weirdo.
After that, Pete finds out that Harry has been dating MJ and that he's been keeping that a secret from him. Which again, awful friend. But he does offer a job at his dad's office, to which Norman reacts like this. I love this man, he looks so excited. Peter turns down the offer to get started as a photographer for the Daily Bugle. Now I've wondered why the fuck Norman makes the connection that Spider-Man clearly takes these photos himself. Bro, these are borderline selfies.
They're crap.
Never mind then. Meanwhile, Norman has a slight mental breakdown.
I started this company.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Which leads to our first confrontation of Green Goblin and
Spider-Man!
Before that though, I do have to say that Harry's obsession with his father is really interesting. Like, he only wants to use MJ to impress his father. He even used Peter as a way to flex it. They really sell you on his daddy issues, which makes his later obsession with Spider-Man pretty convincing. Anyway, Green Goblin is hilarious.
Hold it right there! I surrender!
Oh boy.
Hold it right there!
The CGI in the scene really did not age well at all, but honestly, this right here makes more than up for it. Spider-Man defeats Green Goblin by fisting his glider, which leads Green Goblin to say this cheesy ass 19 action cartoon line.
You meet again, Spider-Man!
I don't know if anyone but Dafoe could make that line funny, rather than just straight up cheesy. And our hero Spider-Man just randomly kidnaps this girl. Like, you let everyone else stay in the chaos, but this particular girl right here, you just take her with you. Just a minute ago, she was being crushed by boulders. Maybe swing her to the nearest hospital rather than wherever the fuck this place is. At least order an Uber home or something. We then get another GGGS, also known as Goofy Green Goblin scene. He finds out that there's this dude inside of him who controls his actions and fulfills his true desires by any means necessary.
I'm right here.
Now, I wouldn't call the Green Goblin's motives very relatable or even reasonable. He is as stereotypical of a bad guy as it gets, but it's the performance and the writing of this character that makes him so iconic and fun. Like, if you take this same motive and throw a lesser script with a more dull performance in there, you get Magnifique, or whatever his name was from Thor 2. This dude right here.
Spider-Man wasn't attacking the city. He was trying to save it. That's slander.
It is not. I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel.
I fucking love this dude. When Green Goblin barges in there with his fat, thick, juicy ass, JJJ doesn't give up his employee, who he just shed talk 5 seconds ago, which should be summarized this character so well. You know, he thinks he himself is hilarious and super clever, but he's not a bad guy, and he cares for the people around him. How is every scene funny in this movie? I don't understand, dude. The Green Goblin gives him the stereotypical "you and I are not so different" speech and offers to team up with him and do bad evil people stuff together. And then he dips. He does bring up a good point about the meaningless cycle of violence in this stuff. Anyway, here he is blowing places up for fun. But before that, we do get this iconic kiss. Also, I do really like the rawness of these action scenes. Like, they're not amazing, but they feel pretty visceral. Although really just picked this dude up and set him down again, which somehow knocked him out. So back to the building on fire. We get another GGGS where he somehow does this noise multiple times. I genuinely don't understand if he himself can stream like that, or if he recorded an MP3 file for his epic iPod Touch, or whatever they used back then. So in this fight, Peter gets a little oopsie whoopsie, which later at the family dinner exposes him as the saucy imposter to Norman, which makes him leave, but not without calling MJ a gold digger. For some reason, Harry doesn't see anything wrong with this, and instead picks his father's side in this matter, again showing us Harry's obsession with making his father proud, which will continue in the following movies. Did they really not have another picture of Uncle Ben? Like, he seriously looks like a fuckboy in this. Don't be irresponsible, he's so sexy. We then get this absolutely traumatizing scene that is also absolutely hilarious to me. The way he just pushes her to finish the epic Bible code.
Finish it! Finish it!
Last maniacally is pure comedic genius, I swear to God. So Aunt May is hospitalized, and Peter realizes that the Green Goblin knows his identity, at which point I was convinced he would figure out that Norman is clearly the Green Goblin. But not so fast! Pump the brakes! Can't think straight with all of the blood out of his brain and in his hands! Seriously, MJ asked Peter if he ever talked to Spider-Man about her, and he goes on about fucking how she makes him feel when he looks into her eyes, which could be seen as cute, but it's just weird to imagine.
The great thing about MJ is when you look in her eyes.
Have you ever had dreams that you
said that.
Anyway, let's move on to the climax of the movie. So Harry snitches to Norman that Peter is in love with MJ, so he naturally kidnaps her and creates the cheesiest, most Saturday morning cartoon-ass scenario ever. Peter has to pick
The woman you love or the little children.
Which again, really wouldn't work if this movie wasn't batshit insane up to this point. This is actually a pretty fun finale though, with Peter proving that he has truly leveled up his skills. He manages to save them both by doing this sick little move that Andrew Spidey could never. We then get an Injustice style stage switch where we get this absolutely insane final fight scene where Green Goblin does shit like this. Peter really gets his ass handed to him until Green Goblin gets a bit
I'm gonna finish her nice and slow.
weird.
Oh.
Harry sees Spider-Man bring his daddy home, which leads him to think that, oh, naturally, he must have killed my daddy. No! Then Peter friend-zones MJ, who confesses her love to him, and that's it.
Who am I?
Oh my god, no.
You sure you want to know?
Just kidding, it's actually this scene.
Who am I? Your mom.
Nah, okay, now for real.
I'm Spider-Man.
And that's it, the first Raimi Spider-Man. This movie is truly something special, man. It might not be a perfect movie, but it sure as hell is one of the most entertaining ones. This was one of the movies I've watched the most out of any movie in my entire lifetime, probably. I hadn't seen it in like 10 years or so, but I used to have this movie on VHS. We literally just recorded off of TV and wrote Spider-Man ourselves on the cover, and we wrote it something like this because we couldn't speak English back then. But I'll probably give this an 8 out of 10, which is a great rating.
I am so high, I can hear heaven.
Alright, it's a 10 out of 10. Next up, Spider-Man 2. This movie is so fucking good, guys. The movie begins with a cute little summary of the last movie, and then greets us with another one of these.
I'm Spider-Man, given a job to do.
It really sounds like they woke up Tobey at 3 AM so they could get his sexy morning voice in there.
No, I told you I can only call you in the morning because I don't have phone service in the afternoon or night.
Ooh, that was close.
I hate it. So this movie focuses way more on Peter's personal struggles. We see him working at this pizza place, and yeah, this is his last chance to keep his job. All he has to do to keep his job is...
You have to go 42 blocks in 7.5 minutes, or your ass is fired.
Oh yeah. That's reasonable. Driving doesn't work, so he chooses to deliver pizza as Spider-Man, which inspired the greatest game mechanic of all time. That shit was so fun, man.
Whoa! He stole that guy's pizza!
Now this movie got jokes, alright? Good jokes. And they are consistently funny too. Like seriously, this movie had me laughing a decent amount. But it ain't no Spider-Man, man.
But how?
The extremely goofy stuff is out, and instead this movie does take itself way more serious, which really fucking works. I actually care about most of these characters now. Hell, even fucking Aunt May is interesting in this. What? How did they manage that? Seriously, she was a fucking sleep pill in the last one, and now she got actual banger lines. But you do lose out on the absolute batshit insane pacing the first movie had, which makes this movie a little less entertaining overall to me, but so much better in other aspects, man. Anyway, so Spider-Man lets these kids die. Natural selection, all that. You'll understand. And then Peter comes out of the closet. Oh, so that's what he meant with
The woman I've loved since before I even liked girls.
You're gay!
he delivers the pizza, but
Pizza time.
he's too late. So naturally, since this dumb idiot couldn't teleport, he gets fired. But at least he still got his daily bugle job.
You're fired.
He's not a spider selfie though.
Sticks.
So work doesn't work. And uni goes to shit, but at least he has a place to live.
Rent.
Oh my god. Okay, but at least his close family and friends still care for him. And throw him a little surprise party.
No, I can't take that.
Yes, you can. You can take this money from me. For God's sake, it's not much. Now take it.
Alright, Auntie, relax. I'll take your goddamn money. Just don't do that, please.
Were I to face the one responsible for what happened, I don't know what I'd do.
Can we like get an Aunt May movie where she hunts down and kills her husband's murderer? I bet old Auntie got some moves, dude. That's ridiculous though. They would never. They really were desperate, huh? The chemistry between MJ and Peter in this makes me feel so uncomfortable. Like, I feel like I'm interrupting something. Jeez, guys, I'm sorry for barging in you like this. I'll just leave you two alone.
I'm seeing somebody now.
So the movie made it pretty clear by now that his life kind of sucks right now.
Rest of the week.
But then Harry introduces Peter to ambitious size man number 2, and they say a bunch of nerd shit. How about we see some abs instead? You also get this shot of both his Spidey suit and his suit, which I think speaks for itself.
Where's my money?
We then see Peter have this absolutely adorable smile as he rides his little bike. I swear to God, he could just be such a cutie.
Eat your green vegetables.
Peter's late to MJ's show because, could it be? Oh my god! Anyway, so depression hits Peter hard, and just like in Star Wars, a broken heart leads to death. So Peter has performance issues, huh? It's okay, Pete. 1 out of 10 men experience the same thing. Or so I've heard. Did they really have to platter her face like 500 times on this one wall? I guess it's supposed to be symbolism. Everywhere he looks, he sees her face. But come on, man. Doesn't seem like very efficient marketing to me. So Doc Ock reveals his new cheese ball flavored snack to the world. And things get a little freaky. This movie is really visually stunning, man. It shots us so much better than the first movie, with some absolutely gorgeous cinematography and compositions. It's a shame that Doc Ock isn't that great of a character in this. Oh my god, did you just say that? Oh no! I'm flabbergasted. Clutching my pearls right now. Okay, I am over-exaggerating a little bit, but I do feel like his turn to being evil science man number 2 was a bit too quick, and his relationship to Peter could have used some more development, I feel. But I might just say all that because the PS4 game absolutely nailed Stockholm. I don't want to take anything away from Alfred Molina's absolutely amazing performance. He's actually incredibly charming in this, and extremely fun to watch.
Butterfingers.
He's an incredible villain, but his good guy face feels a little underwhelming is all I'm saying. Now that I pissed everyone off, let me jerk this movie's massive cock off here. Actually,
I'm in charge here!
I think I missed the subplot where a supernatural toddler bit Harry, which turned him into baby man. Anyway, dick suckage time. This scene is so fucking good. From the amazing flawless effects to the way it's shot like a slasher movie, having these doctors absolutely terrified. It's fucking brilliant. The lack of music and use of sound, use of shadows. Oh my god, it's so good. But this is about the point where you realize how many screaming women are in this movie. Now, I'm not the first to point this out, but Jesus fucking Christ, there's so many screaming women in this movie. I was watching this film on Amazon Prime and the X-ray thing they have really had people credited as screaming women. I love that so much. It's so fucking stupid. Also, use it as inspiration for the Darth Vader scene everyone cries about. Whoa, is that a web? Is that his life being shattered? Wow, what symbols? Okay, I'm clowning this mainly just because the movie has a lot of these clever foreshadowing and metaphors and symbolisms and all the other things that made your high school English teacher rock hard. And I kinda love it. But I am too insecure to just say that and have to cope by poking fun at it. I'm sorry, I'm fragile. Yeah. So back at the Daily Bugle, and this guy makes it extremely obvious he's the only actual reporter in this news outlet. Like, he clearly knows Peter is Spider-Man, and of course he fucking does. So should all the people who get to see this fucking selfies. I am slightly confused by this evil plan the Arms came up with. Okay, you go to the bank, steal money, everyone knows you stole the money, you buy the equipment. You buy the equipment from who? Your face isn't covered. Everyone knows who you are. I guess everyone in New York is evil then, and no one really cares. Anyway, Jeff Winger pure shames Peter and his aunt, while Doc Ock somehow breaks into the bank without anyone noticing, so he starts throwing shit.
Real hero.
They really do the put your arms up gag from the first movie, and Alfred does a couple cute faces. It's good stuff. We now get into our first set piece. And man, the action in this movie is fucking insane. Both this, the train scene, and every action beat in between is just on another level.
Butterfingers.
Also, this is the point where I have to praise Aunt May in this movie. She was so incredibly dull in the first one, man. I swear she had like 5 lines, and all she did was whine, and nobody fucking cared. Get the fuck out, Grandma May. So I love Aunt May now. I'm a changed man. But I do wonder where Aunt May thinks Peter just went. Anyway, so Peter steps in shattered glass and has to take a photo of the love of his life's engagement. Oh, he also gets bitch slapped by Harry and couldn't get his little cheese bits. Oh, he also dies? So his dick don't work no more, which means he gots to go to the doctor, who tells him, yeah, maybe don't be Spider-Man, man. Because he too knows he's Spider-Man. Because Peter is actually hilariously bad at hiding that from everyone, which I actually kind of like. It's cute. He's trying to keep it a secret, but he sucks at lying. It's definitely better than him wearing glasses like it's a sick camouflage pants. So Spider-Man turns to the camera and tells you the title of the comic book this movie's based off of.
I'm Spider-Man. No more.
Which is technically kind of cute, but also extremely awkward way to phrase a retirement. I am a porn star. No more. Who says that? We do get this absolutely iconic shot of Peter walking away from his suit, which gives me teeny goosebumps every time. And look at that! His life is fixed now. For the most part. No. Why? Let me just shout out Kirsten Dunst's performance in this movie too while I'm at it. I think she did a really damn good job at this one. Even though the character of MJ is pretty awful in this trilogy, like not badly written per se, but rather just a fucking awful person who gets engaged with this man while being in love without a man and so on. But that is definitely not the actress's fault at all, who, like almost everyone, plays their character much better in this movie compared to the last one. So Spider-Man is no more. And Peter lets people die now. But we do get some significant character development when Pete reveals that he said,
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Which led to him, yeah, I think I'll leave too. Oh hey, it's Kermit the Frog.
I'm leaving for the night, sir.
Fucking Bernard. This is the first time we see this guy, and I wouldn't have missed him if we did. So Harry rats Peter out and tells Doc Ock to bring Peter to him alive. Bro, he's such an awful friend, dude. Plus, James Franco really phoned this performance in, man. Your red crying eyes won't stop me from pulling you out of my FT right, you dude. Meanwhile, Peter is doing my favorite thing in superhero movies. Being a hero without their powers. This shit is my kink, man. I love seeing heroes putting their lives in danger even when they don't have their abilities or tools. Which is also the reason why I personally love Iron Man 3. It's one of my favorite MCU movies. Yeah, I'm sorry, I like that movie. But I also really fucking like this movie. Okay. And this cute little scene of Aunt May being supportive as fuck to Pete, showing that Spider-Man is not only stopping crime, but also a role model to others. Ah, it's so good. So Peter is dead.
My back. Oh, my back.
We stand a relatable hero. So here's MJ being creepy, and here's her trying to cheat on her fiance. And here is Doc Ock really understanding the assignment. Jesus, you were really fucking lucky Peter magically survived that. So JJJ finally admits that Spider-Man truly is a hero.
A criminal! He stole my suit! He's a menace to the entire city!
Well, he did for a second. Woof! Next up is the incredible clock tower and train scene. This fucking sequence is so good. If I had to nitpick, which of course I do, some of the CG here makes them both look too weightless, which does take away from some of the impact. They look like PS2 characters at some points here, and that's okay. It's not the worst case of this problem, and not enough to take away from how dynamic and exciting the scene is. Peter, through sheer perseverance, manages to stop the train, beating all the odds and saving the people on it, which leads to them realizing that he is
just a kid.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. But the faces Tobey pulled during this scene are special, man. They really sell you on the struggle, but they're also so fucking funny. My guy looks like he's pushing a boulder out of his cheeks. This is so cute. It just makes me feel so good. Like these kids popping up with the mask. Aww. And then they get their ass kicked. And so does Spidey. Let's go. Harry does live through what I assume to be most of Dream fanfictions, with him being tied up and getting unmasked. And oh look, it's your sort of best friend. Not really, guy. Holy shit. So now Sir Red Eyes over here tells Peter where you can find Doc Ock, who's currently working on a new and improved cheese ball flavor. Yummy. The finale of the movie is pretty cute, with Doc Ock's turn to good and his heroic sacrifice and all that. Yeah. But oh my god. I really don't understand why he just screams like this. Like, instead of jumping in to save her immediately, he takes his time to just make this goofy ass face. This is truly cinema. I did notice that the movie plays out kind of similar to the first one to some degree. Evil science man has big dreams. Dream go bad and make science man fulfill dreams in shady ways. But evil science man not actually evil. Science juices control his actions. So a really good science man actually. Both science friends die after finding out Peter's identity. I guess with a slight twist in this one. It would be interesting to see how they handle the sacrifice in the new movie. Like I really just put the spider in Spider-Man, huh? Or maybe just want to show off that absolute dumpy. Poor guy really doesn't deserve this. Too bad not a single soul in this movie cares about him, especially not his fiance. I'm so glad we get to hear Dafoe's beautiful laugh and see his goofy face again. Harry just stands there, listening to a reflection of his dead father talk shit to him. Not quite sure how he sees and hears him though, since he never took the serum. But hey, there's a secret room behind the mirror. And wow, we successfully teased the next movie. I cannot wait to have Harry be the main antagonist of the next movie. Maybe they'll spice it up and add another villain. Oh boy, I'm so excited.
Okay, that's good. That's good. It's enough slices!
Anyway, so MJ just ruins this guy's life. I meant to show this guy. And runs off to Peter and is all dramatic.
I can't survive without you.
Jesus, woman, coming off a bit strong here, don't you think? Yeesh. Anyway, so he gets all poetic and it kind of gets awkward again. Can I leave? They make out. Spidey does whatever Spidey does.
Go get him, Tiger.
MJ gets accustomed to her new life. And that's about it. It does end on a kind of sad note though, with MJ looking at the critic reviews for the sequel or something, I don't know. So, Spider-Man 2. Of course it ends with a song like this, man. What a movie though, huh? Many call this the best Spider-Man movie of all time. Some even the best superhero movie of all time. I personally love this movie. It is fucking amazing, especially compared to every other superhero movie around this time. Comparing this movie to the first one is actually quite difficult to me though, because I love these for very different reasons. But if I had to rate these, I would give it a good 8.5 out of 10. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. fine. It's a 10 out of 10, goddammit. Alright, it's Spider-Man 3 time. Oh man, I got some mixed feelings on this one. Many people say this is the worst Spider-Man movie of all time. And no, that totally goes firmly to the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Which, oh boy, I'll definitely get to soon. I genuinely love how fucking stupid this movie is, man. Yeah, most of the stuff has no business being in the Spider-Man movie. Like, what the fuck is even going on here? But oh my god, it's just so fun. And this movie also has quite a few heavy scenes with great character development. It's good stuff. I gotta admit though, I absolutely loved this film as a child and watched it like a billion times, so I might have a little fat layer of nostalgia blocking my eyes. But that is genuinely not why I enjoy this movie today. It just too insane. Although this movie really makes Peter Parker absolutely horrible. Like, he's genuinely just a terrible person for the whole movie. Yeah, even before he gets the venom juices. Let's just go over the movie and talk about it. Well, this time we get the double recap. But oh no, what's this black juice? The music during this intro sequence is genuinely clever as fuck, with the heroic team battling out the symbiote team, which is also a banger. What isn't clever though is...
It's me.
Come on, man. So by the start of this movie, Spider-Man has become quite the icon to the city of New York, with his own fanboys and everything.
Stick around, it's gonna start again in a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, for the most part. But he still rides that bike, man. And he gets bullied in uni for some reason. I don't get that bit, but hey, it's the cast of the Amazing Spider-Man. So Gwen Stacy is introduced and Dr. Connor is still there. And things are going pretty great with MJ. So basically, this movie takes what the last movie did and twists it around completely.
It's my girlfriend.
Everything is going great for the most part, and instead of improving himself and thus his life, he starts self-sabotaging, making things worse for himself. While Peter's enjoying his girlfriend, Harry is seen also very much enjoying his girlfriend. Before. That's one long stare right there, man. I think somebody's building up a little crush. I ship it. When Peter tries to talk to Harry about what happened, he just dips because he got goblin business to attend.
Goblins are real.
Oh, and he's ripped now.
And those are from Harry.
Yeah. Somebody's compensating for something. Never mind. Peter once again foreshadows the end of the movie.
Acoustics. It's all about diffusion. It keeps the sound waves from grouping.
It's almost like he read the fucking script. Okay, but can we talk about these webs they keep probably fucking on? Those are natural bodily fluids, right? Need I say more? So... lands on Earth and rushes straight to Pete's shitty little bike. Look how excited he gets.
I am out of the Eddie closet!
We're now introduced to our third villain, Sandy Cheeks, and we are only like 10 minutes into the movie. But this one's actually well written and kinda cool. I actually really enjoy this character and wish we got to focus way more on him, as he really is the most consistently good aspect of this film. So his daughter has some unnamed illness and needs expensive treatment, which is why our boy does the bad. Cause he too not actually bad. But unlike the last two villains, it's not the same weird pseudoscience that makes him a villain. It's just the American healthcare system, baby. Anyway, so Peter goes to Aunt May, who is absolutely rocking that long white hair. Sheesh. They talk about him planning to propose to MJ, to which she says, "You sure you ready, bro?" And he said, "Yes, sir." And I say, "Aw, Peter's always so fucking cute on a stupid little bike of his." How is that thing still functioning? So Harry straight up wants to kill Peter now, while Pete just wants to shoot some sticky white stuff in his face. This fight is actually really cool, even if the CGI isn't that great. I'm curious though as to how the fuck no one reports about this fight for the rest of the movie. Motherfuckers broke like 10 windows, got rid of huge chunks of concrete that probably killed some people, and also Spider-Man was just zooming about with no mask on. Whatever. The best part of the scene is the constant objective of not losing the ring. It's such a cool little element that adds some stakes to this battle between best friends, even though it really doesn't feel like best friends fighting for even a sec, especially since Cena straight up kills Harry. So he brings him to the hospital, and remember that radioactive baby that bit Harry somewhere off screen? Yeah, the effects of that are stronger than ever.
I know that face.
Harry has lost his memory, which is convenient, and that brings Harry and Peter closer together.
Somehow I've been gone for a really long time. Now I'm back home.
Actually, kind of a good line. If he didn't go back to a psychotic killer like 5 seconds later. Bro, why is that one English prince playing Gwen's father in this movie? So they're on the hunt for Sandy, who just straight up knocks the fuck out of that dog before he jumps into a big old hole. I don't know what they're doing to that Sam, let alone at this time. At this exact moment. My guy couldn't have worse luck, swear to God. Better luck? Depends on how you see it, really. But this scene of him materializing and the struggle of picking up the amulet is actually quite moving. I don't understand how the fuck he still got his clothes on. But hey, good scene. Good job, movie. Here's a sticker.
The review.
Oh.
They hated it. They hated me.
Oof, I bet the whole crew knows what that feels like nowadays. I actually really like this somber moment of MJ looking for support and Spider-Man miserably failing at giving her the support she needs.
This isn't about you.
He puts himself in the center of the attention instead of just being there for him, which ties perfectly to the scene earlier where Aunt May pointed out that you have to be able to put your partner first if you want to get married. Good stuff.
Go get him, Tiger.
Read the fucking room, man. We get introduced to Brock, who was only mentioned in the first movie as a little reference before. And apparently he's dating Gwen now, although he doesn't look very concerned for her safety here at all. So Spider-Man saves Gwen Stacy's life. And then Eric Foreman calls him fat.
Yeah, a little chunky.
It's been a pretty good day all around.
Who are you? You hired him last week.
Eddie was just hired. That's weird because he kind of said Eddie Brock wasn't a gig in the first movie.
Eddie's been on it for weeks.
Oopsie, inconsistency alert. So Eddie jerks JJJ off, so he tasked them to compete for an incriminating picture of Spidey. But screw all that. What the fuck is this Stan Lee cameo, bro?
You know, I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
No, Stan Lee. It is not.
Welcome home, Harry.
Fucking Bernard. Anyway, Spider-Man's balling now and actually bonding with Harry. This is deadass the first time. They kind of seem like friends in this, which is weird since they've been best friends for 3 movies. But hey, I'll take it. Gotta build up that bro scene at the end at least a little bit, right?
Just wish I could remember more about him.
We loved you. That's the main thing.
No, he didn't. Don't lie to him, Peter. MJ gets fired cause...
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I thought she did great. And then she thought she got some attention by some random pedestrians. Come on, MJ, really? You know that's not happening. MJ is getting jealous of Peter's fame, and Peter's straight up his own biggest hype man. And turns out, Addie is a fucking virgin loser who sees having one date as completely dating someone. What a fucking nerd, dude. Peter is too focused on himself to see that MJ isn't doing too swell. And instead tells her, hey, you might want to keep your eyes on me as Spider-Man. I got this pretty cool thing happening. What a fucking asshole. These motherfuckers really tried to shoot Sam with guns. Can I say though, MJ's and Harry's chemistry in this movie is actually incredibly good. I actually buy them as an actual human relationship. And James Franco's performance in this is so fucking funny, man. Everything he does is so fucking extra. He always has this stupid grin on his face. It's kind of adorable, not gonna lie. So Spider-Man goes to fight Sandy with his cocky attitude. And honestly, at this point in the movie, I'm kind of low-key rooting for the bad guy here. He just wants to provide for his little daughter, and this fuck just kissed another woman, fucking cheat, and he gets to serve too? I think he needs an L right about now. So this dude really goes to a restaurant thinking he's about to propose to MJ. My guy really needs to learn how to read a room. This little banter with his friend shoe is cute though.
Becco.
We then find out that Sandy over here is actually the guy who killed Uncle Ben. Oh my god, that's impossible. That would mean that blah 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 blah. Anyway, Peter gets sticky stuff all over himself, which gets him really excited. So he goes after Cheek Boy, but Eddie wants that smoke.
See you, chump.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
So we get to see another sort of train sequence, but like on the ground. And it's pretty amazing stuff. We see a man lose half his face, get wet, and then turn to literal wastewater. This is what no healthcare does to a motherfucker. Also, me when your mom or something, I don't know. Thus, Bully Maguire was born.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
Sheesh, Peter, relax, dude. But please keep going, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
So he goes to Aunt May and tells her, yo, I took care of Uncle Benny, this murderer. What's good? And she's like, bro, that's kind of yikes, what the fuck? She also gives us some of the themes of this movie about revenge and poison consuming people. Or it could also just be this weird alien juice, I guess. Since Peter has been so unreliable and Loki has been cheating, MJ decides to go to Harry to unwind a little bit, and hey, they're having a great time. Okay, that's too good of a good time, girl. Oh my god, he's back. So Harry gets his memory back, and it's time to
attack his heart.
And he gets right to it. Like, he straight up goes to MJ and kidnaps her. He tells her to set up a meeting to dump Pete, but oh, look how cute he looks with his little flowers. MJ is
breaking my heart.
And then Harry meets up with Peter, and we get some of the funniest shit ever.
How's the pie?
So good.
Where is he going? What the fuck is this movie, man? I'm losing my fucking mind. Okay, so Harry reveals to Peter that MJ has actually been in love with him the whole time, which is why she broke up with him. But 5 seconds later, they just tried to kill each other anyway. Why not just immediately go for it?
Protected you in high school, now I'm gonna kick your little ass.
Hey, you got a good ass, okay? Bro, this guy's head really takes a fucking beating in this. Peter now tells Harry that his daddy didn't actually love him.
Gonna cry?
And then he kills him. So the Daily Bugle published a paper which incriminates Spider-Man and makes people talk shit about him immediately. And then Peter says this.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Bro, that shit is so random. So he goes to the Bugle and reveals, holy shit, Eddie is a fake and a fraud.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
What the actual fuck? Oh, he actually does get religion. But before we go to church, we get this amazingly awful sequence of Peter being an absolute dumbass. I swear this has no business being in the Spider-Man movie, but it's still fun to hate on, man.
I'd love to shoot you sometime.
Some people say there was beef between Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire on set of this movie, which is why Raimi made him extra goofy, make it feel a little uncomfortable, which would be insane. But so is just putting these scenes in the movie with no ulterior motive.
Find us some shade. Thanks, out, mate.
What? Why? So Peter just came to the jazz bar to once again steal the show from MJ. And in the process, not only hurt her, but also Gwen. Well, one more than the other. But it did make for one hell of a show. Where does the wit come from, man? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Spider-Man movie. I know, it's easy to forget sometimes. The MJ punch actually is pretty rough though. Like, it actually gets me sad, which is fucking insane. Considering what was going on like 5 seconds earlier, I don't know how this movie does it, man. And then we are finally in church, and this is what Eddie understood under find religion.
I want you to kill Peter Parker.
I don't think that's how it works, buddy. Well, that was quick. So the venom is transferred over to Eddie in this pretty gruesome scene of Peter struggling to get rid of it and slowly it overtaking Eddie. Aunt May comes to visit Peter and basically tells him to stop being a little bitch, and then she dips.
End of the line, Spider-Man.
What the fuck is that?
So Venom and Sandman team up and Peter stalks MJ. He really does need his ass kicked. I love how she lives literally right across her Broadway place. This world is filled with conveniences, it's impressive. Speaking of which, MJ goes to get a taxi to go after Peter, and somehow Eddie anticipated she would ask for a cab at this random late time, so he somehow found a taxi only to kidnap her, try to take Spider-Man to their location. Bro, if you know where she lives, you could have just picked her up. I don't know, man.
Apparently, Spider-Man's being challenged to some sort of confrontation.
This might just be the dumbest movie ever, I swear to God. So Peter goes to Harry for help, but he rejects him. Well, thank goodness for Alfred, this fucker, who comes to rescue to tell Harry that his father did indeed die by his own glider.
The night your father died, I cleaned his wound.
Why the fuck you touching at that man? Also, why does this fucker keep his filthy mouth shut right until this moment? I'm sorry, I got a little carried away. Was she meant to survive that, or did that not matter to them? Because that's a lot of trust in some kind of weak ass webs.
Ooh, my spider sense is tingling.
Ew, can we not?
You know what I'm talking about.
Boy, shut the fuck up.
Do you remember what you did to me?
He says that like it was a freak accident when they were like 10 years old. Shit happened like 10 hours ago, bro.
How's that sound, Tiger?
How does he know this shit?
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
So Peter gets double teamed up on and it's going not very well. Until, oh my god, is that a bird? Is that a plane? It's
wicked cool.
Bruh. So Harry comes to the rescue and we get this sick little bro bell, which is actually kind of dope. Never thought I'd see Spider-Man on surfboard though. Twice. But here we are. Honestly, Harry kind of does most of the heavy lifting in this battle. Peter's mostly just busy being tied up. Give this guy a goddamn break. I guess that works. Like father, like son, or whatever. Peter builds a little venom cage and plays around with some pipes, leaving Venom with no hose, which is quickly resolved by giving him a new one. Hey, look at that works.
I didn't want this.
Don't worry, you didn't kill him. That was all Peter. We now get to see the real events of Uncle Ben's murder, and well, it was an accident. Which means Buff and Sheeran over here is actually not a bad guy. Sucks that Tom Holland will have to kill him, huh?
You're my friend. Best friend.
Okay, I gotta admit, that got me. Even if it wasn't earned at all. We once again end the movie at a funeral, and of course with another one of these.
Whatever comes our way.
Ugh. Hey, you aren't paid to stare at customers, lady. So MJ and Peter dance to what I assume to be just awkward silence, and credits. Well, that was sad. Some people say this ending wraps the story up pretty well, but to me it is a little underwhelming, because it clearly feels more like an end of a season rather than a series, if you know what I mean. But hey, Spider-Man 4 never happened due to behind the scenes disagreements, and instead we got the Andrew reboot, which we'll get into soon enough. But for now, Spider-Man 3. What a movie, huh? Probably the most confusing piece of modern superhero media I've watched. I said in the beginning that I have mixed feelings about this one. I actually really enjoy the campiness. So I gotta stick to my guns and say, this movie is pretty fun. And yes, it is overrated, man. It's so stupid and straight up bad in so many places. But that's part of the charm of this movie to me. Let me just give it a quick, fuck, what do I give this? 8 out of 10 still? Oh my god. And at this overly long project that took me forever to make. Sorry, there's no hilarious end credit scene on this one to save the score. Bye bye.